Hey there, Patriots. Welcome back to the front lines. Death Watch here to give you guys more intel so you can update your personal armory and fight back against the fake news media machine. And today we'll be talking about TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, the new up and coming movie that has, become quite controversial because they decided to race swap, right? April O'Neil to make her what the character designer James A. Costello says relatable and grounded in the real world, right? What does that mean? Well, they completely just made this abomination, right? This kind of perversion of the original April O'Neil character, right? And but what this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because Seth Rogen himself, who's overseeing the movie, actively says, "I am just actively trying to make less things starring white people." Okay, so should anybody be surprised by this sudden change? No, no, not in the least bit, right? After watching, I didn't watch it. After his Santa Incorporated movie, I literally have no interest in watching TMNT because I know it's just going to be his bastardized version of the franchise, right? His own parody version, right? And looking at even Master Splinter, right? The way that they changed up Master Splinter's, his look is appalling, okay? But we all know that April O'Neil, like, this is the mainstream concept art of her. Okay, this is from TMNT Shredder's Revenge that came out in 2022. Right, they're still sticking with the redhead reporter. Okay, with the yellow jumpsuit. Right, in the Batman versus TMNT, not only the animated movie but the comic book, this is the mainstream redheaded April O'Neil, right? And so when people like Seth Rogen come out and says, "Well, hey, don't you guys want to see more? Don't you black people want to see more black characters in movies, in TV shows, in films?" Of course, we say yes, right? I don't see the harm in that. But when we do say yes, they give us characters like this race swap, recycled, bastardized versions of already popular characters, right? Okay, same thing when it comes to Amber, right, from Invincible, the main love interest of the main character, right? She used to be a blonde white girl with a completely nice, cool personality in the comic books. In the TV series, they decided to make her black and give her the most disgusting character traits that everybody across the board says that this character is completely unlikable. Not only did you race swap a existing character, but you also made this new race swap character completely unlikable. Geez, thanks for the representation. I really feel represented now, having a bunch of people hate this character, that's just hate this black character because of you guys, and it just seems intentional, right? At this point, it's intentional. Okay, like nobody, this doesn't inspire me to want to go watch this movie, right? It's the same thing with Velma, with Mindy, whatever her name is. Okay, she decides that she wants to draw herself as Velma, make her short, fat, unlikable, full of spite, and then people are just like, why are you doing this, right? Then they make Shaggy, right? They turn Shaggy black and then make him nothing more than a simp, worthless, weak beta male that constantly walks behind Velma trying to get her love and attention. And it's just stupid. It's just overall stupid. Nobody likes these right? These new race swap characters are intentionally being made to make you hate them, right? At this point, it's part of the script, right? They sit here and they say, "Well, we're trying to star less white people, right? Don't you marginalized groups of people want to see yourself represented?" And we say yes, and then they then give us characters that are completely just unattractive, unappealing, and then everybody hates them. At what point is this not intentional? Okay, so overall, right, I'm not really reading the article. I'm just kind of, saying my opinion out loud, right, ranting, if you would. That this is all part of a bigger plot and a bigger scheme, in my opinion, right? We see how I've talked about how like Anita Sarkeesian and her feminist frequency, her whole shtick with her nonprofit was attacking modern tropes in anime, well, not only anime, video games, cartoon shows and TVs and film, right? By saying by allowing women, female characters to be cool and sexy like this, somehow it's hurtful. It's hurtful, it's harmful, right? You have the idea that feminists keep pushing called the male gaze. If as long as you allow women to be sexy and wearing revealing clothes in films and TV shows and movies, men won't respect them. Men will only see women as sexual objects. So therefore, you to subvert the male gaze, you have to make female characters that look like this, right? Completely unappealing, unattractive. Um, for what reason? Who knows? I remember seeing like a Reddit post, right? It's a kind of a conspiracy theory, right? But a Reddit post said that, well, actually, it's probably a bunch of very attractive women, right? A bunch of very attractive women openly push this type of concept um to other women in order to force them to then go and say, hey, well, I don't want to be, a victim of the male patriarchy, right? Because the male gaze and all this other crap says that, hey, men are going to assault you if they find you attractive, right? That's the whole lie that they push, that feminists push. That's what the male gaze is. That's why they keep saying it. Okay, they say that men are assaulting you with their eyes, the male gaze, and they might in the media, by having sexy women in the media, well, then men are going to sit down and look at women as nothing more than sexual objects, and therefore they might act upon those feelings or whatever, right? All this other bull crap that these feminists constantly push, right? And so people are like, well, clearly this is all a lie, right? Why would women intentionally make themselves unattractive to avoid some type of make believe crime that might happen to them, right? And somebody was like, well, probably because a bunch of attractive women sat down and was like, hey, or at least a bunch of women sat down and was like, hey, we're going to push this lie so other women can then make themselves look unattractive while we stay and make ourselves look even more attractive. So by proxy, all the guys who will sit there and be like, "Oh wow, these girls look like they're not shaving their arms, they're not shaving their unibrows, they're very hairy, they're looking all sorts of hot mess, like a hot mess, right? But these other women over here, they're still cleanly shaven, they're still getting their manicures or pedicures, they're still keeping up with their hair styles, right? We're gonna go over here and talk to those women, right? That was the kind of conspiracy that somebody on a Reddit post posted, and I just thought it was funny. I don't believe in any of that crap. I just thought it was funny and humorous to read it to read because it kind of it does beg the question to what why just why, okay, why? Because that we clearly see that yes, there are some characters that are attractive, but yet for some reason the new trend is to make them completely unappealing and unattractive. And you see the feminist literature, right? These feminist theorists are coming out and with this type of literature, with these articles, and they openly are saying, hey, this is what we should do. So at some point, you got to question it. You got to sit there and say, hey, they're actively doing what they've been telling us that they've been trying to do for years now. Okay? So like always, like, share, subscribe, stay safe, stay sane, be vigilant, and I'll see you patriots on the battlefield.